Hey, good morning. So I wanted to put my spin on the four agreements, and I'm going to try and keep this quick because my mind can go in a million different directions at times. So the first one talks about using impeccable speech. It's not just because it's a good rule of thumb to be nice to people, because it's nice and it feels good, but using impeccable speech completely relates to the fact that we create the world with our logos, with the words we speak. It's also with how we feel, think, and resonate. You really don't need words because everything is everything, and your thoughts are felt by the universe, and what you feel is felt by the universe. Whatever you're feeling is feeling you, right? And that means everything. It's also why we don't gossip. When we speak words on anyone or anything, that is casting spells. It's up to them whether or not they are capable of receiving and realizing what's taking place, but it is what's always happening. It's just science, it's not personal, which goes to the fourth agreement, or the third agreement, but next one, I guess we'll just go to the don't take it personal, even though it might not be in some order. You don't take things personally because you also understand the universe from that level also. You know that everything is everything, and anything that happens is happening because you're calling it forth. Sometimes it gets confusing because you feel like you should have some sort of life experience to tie it to see how it is that you would have manifested this, but as you awaken dormant strands of DNA within you, and within those strands of DNA dwells everything that's ever existed, ever. You can store a crap ton of information in a droplet of DNA. You should look it up. It's pretty intense. That being said, if you take things personally, you're not understanding the reflective process, and that whoever is in front of you is there to share something beautiful with you. You're literally asking for it on a molecular level to put things together at some level. So not making assumptions falls in that same category, because you don't want to assume that you know what's going on if you don't quite understand exactly how this reflective world operates. Because what something's actually there to tell you is likely a lot more intricate than just what it looks like at face value. Because they're a ripple in time. They are a karmic loop on the wheel of samsara in your world and then in their own, and as a collective, because we've all been riding these same loops for a long time and programmed to do certain things in certain ways, hold certain belief systems and patterns, even those of like complete resistance. Even making no choice is a choice. But we never want to assume that we know what's happening, even when we think we understand, because every time there's another level that can be unfolded, if that's a word. Another layer can be understood, and it just becomes more cohesive in your field the more you identify these things and don't take it personally. And last one's do your best. That should go without saying, but I mean, you get what you give. If you give half-assed, you get half-assed. If you give all of your heart and all of your passion to something, then you get the best out of whatever it is that you are creating or bringing forth into the world, in whatever means that might be. It's pretty simple. just part of the reflective process. And as we learn to identify on the day-to-day how, like we're in a funky mood and then funky stuff happens. And we switch that vibe and different kinds of things happen. And we have trust and faith that everything will work out one way or another, especially knowing what we know about assumptions and taking things personally, and the world being that of spells. Like everything begins to fall into place, and we begin to understand why just making the best choice at every turn is just logic, because we're creating the next moment. And we have to do that consciously and responsibly, based on the outcome that we'd like to see in our own lives and as a collective. Anyway, it all goes back to realizing that we're always interacting with God, and it's never not happening. And when you know that, it becomes impossible to take things personally. There could be energetic charge, and you could even understand what's taking place, and it could be hard to ride out. But it gets easier and easier the more of the layers you peel back and recognize that this is always what's happening. It's always a reflective world. There's some people that would like to be claiming projections without taking responsibility for the reflection. But that's never, ever what's happening for any of us, no matter how much we think we have something figured out. So we should never assume that we know all there is to know. And there's some pretty good agreements if you understand fully where they're coming from, even if you just operate through them at face value. There's a lot to gain, but it's just all about the fact that we're all God interacting with one another in a reflective world that has no choice universally but to provide precisely what meets us at the frequency and vibration that we're holding, even if we don't know what might be stored in the cells within our body. So, hope that made sense. Have a good day.